Hey adventurers, it's the mother of cat dragons again. Let's talk about something that's been buzzing in the D&D community lately. The impact of woke culture and politics on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now, before we dive in, remember, this is all about sparking discussion and sharing different perspectives. So, what's the deal with 5e and woke culture anyway? Doesn't politics have some other place to hang out besides our Dungeons & Dragons tabletop? Some players feel that Wizards of the Coast has been pushing a more inclusive and politically correct agenda, which they believe is watering down the game. This shift has included changes like altering racial traits to avoid stereotypes, getting rid of the word race and replacing it with species, and introducing more diverse character options, as well as eliminating half-elves and half-orcs. But here's the kicker. Not everyone is on board with these changes. In addition, no credit is ever given to the creators of the original game. For some, D&D has always been about the freedom to create and explore without modern social constraints. They argue that the game's new direction feels forced and detracts from the gritty, imaginative storytelling that drew them in initially. Also, the game functions on more of a video game-like reality as opposed to hyper-realism. For example, one of the biggest controversies was the reworking of races like orcs and drow to remove negative racial connotations. But what racial connotations can an imagined monster species have? While the intention was to make the game more welcoming, some longtime players felt it stripped away the rich lore and complexity of these races. And it's not just about race. Issues like gender identity and representation are also taking center stage. The introduction of non-binary characters and more emphasis on LGBTQ+ inclusion is seen by some as a natural evolution, while others view it as pandering and unnecessary. This divide is causing a noticeable shift. Many traditional players, feeling alienated, are jumping ship to older editions or other systems like Pathfinder or Osric, or my favorite game, Castles and Crusades. These games maintain a more old-school approach, focusing on classic fantasy elements without modern political agendas. But let's be real, is this really causing a decline? Some say yes, pointing to online forums and social media where disgruntled players voice their concerns. Others argue that the game is simply evolving to reflect a more inclusive world and that these changes are attracting new players who were previously marginalized. So, where does that leave us? D&D 5e is at a crossroads. It must balance the need for inclusivity with the desire to preserve the essence of what made it beloved in the first place. Only time will tell if it can find that sweet spot or if the exodus will continue. What do you think? Are these changes a necessary evolution or a step too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep this conversation rolling. Until next time, happy gaming, and remember to like, subscribe, and share.